Good afternoon. Hope all is well with you guys. Hopefully everyone had a great Thanksgiving celebration with your families. Hopefully everyone has remained safe. And we're excited about this week, AFC West opponent. Okay, and with that said, I'm all ears.
What do you, I mean, as you watch the Broncos on film defense, I think a lot of people on the outside thought when they traded Von Miller where they were just going to fold up shop, right? That defense has kept firing. What have you seen from them, especially in this past month since that trade happened, that makes them a threat to you all?
You know what? I don't know if it's just been the past month. I think these young guys have been playing pretty damn good every week. Now, I know they've had their setbacks, but that's a part of when you're trying to build a team with a lot of different young players. These guys are playing hard. They're doing a great job up front. Obviously, they got some guys in the secondary that are doing a heck of a job, and then they got some guys that are playing at the linebacker position that are playing pretty damn good. So when we look at them, we know we got our hands full. Our job is to make sure that we're doing everything necessary to give us the benefit of the doubt by taking care of the little things and having a sense of urgency and a sense of purpose in everything that we do.
Coach, you mentioned that secondary. What stands out to you about their rookie, Patrick Surtain?
You know what? I know I'm getting old because I'm watching his son play. So, but I will say this: that kid he's a very, very talented kid. He does a heck of a job. He's a long kid. Everybody want to talk about that. He's not very fast, but what I do see is a very skilled athlete who does a great job of reading and keying and diagnosing routes. And if he gets his hands on that ball, he's going to take it, and he's going to make the very most of it. But we understand the challenge that's up in front of us. The thing that we need to do is just making sure that we're consistent and disciplined with what we're doing on the perimeter.
Coach Toth said that Mecole is no longer on punt return. Do you feel like that's a benefit to him to be able to now focus solely on NFC?
Well, here's the thing. You want all your players to play as many positions as possible because when it's all said and done, we're part of this team, we're part of this organization. It's not about, having one particular role. You want a number of roles that people can count on you. Okay, so obviously with Coach Toth making that decision, obviously he felt that was the best decision moving forward for the team. Now, the thing that we need to make sure is that Mecole is maximizing all the different opportunities that he's being given, obviously with the wide receiver group. So when it's all said and done, we just want our guys, the guys who are on the field, to give us the best chance to have the success. And so Mecole's going to be given that opportunity. He just needs to continue maximizing it.
Coach, it feels like we've been talking about it since like 2 drafts ago, but Clyde Edwards-Helaire in the passing game came up with Coach Reid again this week. How much of an emphasis does that remain for you, and what do you think the key is to maybe breaking through a little bit more there? I know he had the 2 catches for 13 last week.
You know what? At the end of the day, we want Clyde to be the best football player that he can possibly be and contribute in any way, form, or fashion. Because when you're wearing that hat as a running back in this offense, you got to have the ability to carry the ball. You got to have the ability to pick up a blitz, and then you got to have the ability to make a play on the perimeter as a receiver. So, obviously, he got back in the game, a few weeks ago, and it was his first week back. I thought Clyde did a heck of a job of coming back off of injury. Now we just got to keep building off that performance.
Eric, Patrick talked about the sort of robber defense that you guys have been seeing a lot of. I realize you probably can't get into specifics on this, but generically speaking, what's the key to executing when you see those types of defense?
Well, pre-snap recognition, all the key indicators that give you a sense of what's about to take place. And then once that ball is snapped, what you've seen, now you got to have a post-snap reaction, and then you just have to react and play. So, yeah, teams are doing a good job of mixing up different coverages, whether they're playing some form of 11 robber, they're bringing that guy down late, or they're playing their shell defense and cheating another guy down late. But that's all a part of it. Our guys know exactly what's going on. I think our coaching staff do a great job of preparing those guys for those particular moments. We just need to make sure that we're consistent and disciplined in what we're seeing and then reacting and playing.
When you say post-snap recognition, I understand a lot of that's on Patrick, but is it a combination of also the receivers also?
Oh, yeah. So I talk to the players each and every week because there's about 16 to 20 things that our guys have to think about as they break the huddle and coming up to the line of scrimmage. So, it's all about your alignment. It's all about knowing your assignment. okay? Then you got to have a pre-snap indicator of what's taking place. And then when that ball is snapped, everybody needs to know exactly what just took place, because they're not going to stand there like the old electric football when we grew up, you know? So, but these guys are going to move. So you got to have post-snap awareness of what's taking place, not only in the back end, but on the front end. And so our job as coaches is to make sure we're giving them all the different looks that they need to see in order to go out and be the best that they can be on game day.
Is that a little bit of the reason why, you know, a guy can't just come in here and immediately, 3 days after he arrives, you know, be fully caught up on the offense and ready to make an impact? I mean, did you have to learn those things and be on the same page?
Oh, I mean, it's tough. I mean, there's a lot to learn, not just what we do offensively, you know what I mean? It's like learning a different language every time you go someplace, you know, someplace different. So here we may speak Spanish, at another place they may speak French. So, and then on top of that, understanding exactly how we're using, what terminology are we using when we're talking about different coverages and different defensive schemes. So yes, there is a lot of things to learn. And that's why you appreciate the guys that we do have. Because first and foremost, they're smart, they're very, very intelligent, okay? And then all the things that we're putting on their plate, for them to go out there and react and play and still play at a high level, it just goes to show you that these are some special individuals.
Trey's talked to us yesterday about the personal foul penalty and what he kind of learned from it against Dallas. What was your message to him about that experience and what you kind of can and can't say on the field?
Keep your mouth closed, Trey. It was simple. Keep your mouth closed. So, and here's the thing. Trey obviously made a mistake. It was nothing that he intended to do. Life happens, okay? So I always tell the guys, we live play to play when we're involved in this game. You can't let a previous situation impact anything that we're doing moving forward. So he needs to make sure that, yes, he needs to understand, yes, I did make a mistake. But now, what can I do to limit that mistake and move on? The thing that they need to do is just to make sure that we're focused on the next play, because that's the only thing that matters.
We haven't talked to you since the Cowboys game. There was that taunting penalty that Clyde got for Quinn. Can you kind of take us through when they all came over the sideline, what that was like? They tried to cut you off at the pass, I guess?
Now, we had a nice little huddle conversation. But, and the thing that that we've stressed to our guys, this is a point of emphasis. So regardless of what you may think that you seem to think that is harmless, that is not the case anymore. So we need to go back to the days of just handing the ball back to the ref. Get in the end zone, celebrate with your guys, and then we go on from there. The thing that we want to do, we want to make sure we're limiting all the self-inflicted wounds. We need to make sure that we're taking care of the things that we can control. That's something we can control.
Last one.
Coach, with the Broncos coming up for Patrick Mahomes, this is, that was his first NFL appearance. So to see all that he's done in that short amount of time for such a young player, and then to go through the little bit of adversity he went through, and now to seem like as if he's coming out around the other side, what does that show about the mental toughness behind a player like that to develop so quickly and handle all that he has?
You know what? That was one of the reasons why we drafted him. Obviously, we knew it was a pretty talented kid, but sometimes certain people just have that it factor, and you don't know what that it factor really is. But he has that mental toughness to handle a lot of different situations. And if you play long enough in this league, you're going to have your highs and you're going to have your lows. So as you go through a season and the journey that you're taking, sometimes that journey can take you in a great direction. But sometimes that journey is going to take you in a direction where you're going to have to deal with a lot of different issues. So we've dealt with some lows. But the thing that I appreciate about him, he understands, hey, he has to keep throwing the football. It ain't like we're going to stop throwing the ball. So he got to continue to play. And on top of that, Pat is not afraid of being vulnerable and admitting his mistakes. And I think that makes him a very admirable player and a person, but also, too, it exhibits his type of leadership that he has because, hey, if he's taking ownership in what he's doing, everyone else needs to make sure that they're taking ownership as well. So I admire everything that he's done, but also, too, and you guys have heard me say this throughout the course of the season, if we handle those situations the right way, they're going to pay benefits, huge benefits for us as we continue throughout this season. Because if you can go through and weather the storm, the only thing we're going to do is get closer together. And that's what this is about, making sure that our team is bonded, heading in the right direction.
Thanks, Coach.